Oh, it's coming. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, other nations are already hearing this and experiencing this on a daily basis. Iraq, Afghanistan, Egypt, parts of Israel have experienced it. It just amazes me that the mentality and the arrogance of America that thinks that they're going to escape this is pure poppycock. You see, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. This nation, and rightly so, is hated by every other nation on the face of this earth because it's filled with a bunch of hypocritical liars. It's filled with a bunch of people that are blind guides that's straining an gnat to swallow a camel. It's filled with a bunch of people that'll sit on the one hand and they'll say that, we need to follow X, Y, and Z in the Word, but A, B, and C does not matter. It's filled with a bunch of people that have not listened to the Messiah. In Matthew 24 and verse 4, they have not taken heed that no man deceives them, but they have been deceived by many people. Many people, many religions, and many other things. But you got to understand something. Ladies and gentlemen, in verse 7 of Matthew 24, when he said nation shall rise against nation, he meant it. When he said kingdom against kingdom, he meant it. When he said famine and pestilence, he meant it. When he said earthquakes, he meant it. When he said they'll deliver you up to be afflicted and kill you, he meant it. When he said you'll be hated, when he said that they'll deliver you up to the synagogues and magistrates, beat you and kill you and rape you and destroy you, he meant it. Listen up. Oh, and by the way, you'll get your chance to hear the foreign languages. They'll be on your streets. You'll get your chance to hear the voices of Russians and Ukrainians and whatsoever else there is. Remember this this audio that I'm making, because you're going to get your chance.
Et tout. Des brunes, des blacks.
Come out from among her, my people. Come out from among her, my people. See, ladies and gentlemen, Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. 1 for her sins have reached heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquity. Reward her even as she rewarded you, double unto her according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give to her. For she hath said in her heart, I sit as a queen, I am no widow, I shall see no sorrow. Therefore her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, famine. She shall utterly be destroyed with fire, for strong is Yahweh our Elohim that judgeth her. And the kings of the earth, they committed fornication with her. They've lived deliciously with her. They shall bewail her and lament her, for when they shall see the smoke of her burning standing afar off, in fear of torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour thy judgments have come. For in 1 hour thy judgments have come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth her merchandise any more. Merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and pearls and fine linen, purple and silk and scarlet, and all fine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and the brass, and of iron, and of marble, of cinnamon, and of odors, and of ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, beast and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all good things which are dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. And the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour the great riches will come to nothing. Shipmasters and companies of ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea will stand afar off and cry when they see the smoke of her burning, saying, What is like unto this great city? And they will cast dust on their heads, and they will cry and weep and wail, because of the burning and the slaughter and the killing that shall come to pass in the not so distant future. They will lose their minds. They will go mad and wail, and alas, over that great city, because they were made rich. All nations were made rich by her fornications. But heaven shall rejoice over the slaughter of her. Heaven shall rejoice, because Yahweh will avenge. Yahweh will avenge. Because in verse 21 of Revelation 18, a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, cast it into the sea, saying thus with violence, Shall the city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more? It shall come to pass that there'll be no more light found in it anymore. There won't be a voice of the bridegroom or the bride. And there was a time that the merchants were great men of the earth, and by their sorceries were nations deceived. There will be war, and there will be slaughter everywhere. But I hope that you can be glad and rejoice, because your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. And your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life, yes, because you called upon Him to save you. But then after that, you submitted to Him, to serve Him with all the book, not just what you want to. Slaughter will come, I promise you. And the reason I know it, because the book says it. It will come. I make you a promise. It will come. There will be slaughter. There will be slaughter. There will be gunfire like never before. Many people will have their heads cut off. It shall come to pass that many, a third, will die in a short amount of time. And every man's sword will be against his neighbor, and every man's hand against his neighbor. You see, the thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, the whole world will become unhinged. And most religious folks will too. Because the fact of the business is, they are not grounded in the faith. The reality of the business is this, that they themselves have taken themselves, well, they've taken themselves a little bit of religion, but they need a whole lot of Yeshua. You see, that's what they need. They need a whole lot of Yeshua on Mashiach. And see, here's the thing I want to give you for the end of this audio. Why don't we think about discussing who's in the body of Messiah and who's in a cult? The definition of a cult: a particular system of religious worship with reference to its rites and ceremonies. We're talking cult here. An instance of great veneration of a person, ideal, or thing, manifested by a body of admirers. We're talking about a cult. The object of such devotion, those that are devoted to that movement and that dedication of the rites and the ceremonies. A group or a section of people bound together by the same thing. Cult. A religion or sect considered to be false, unorthodox, and extremist, with members often living outside of the realm of the instructions of the book. Any system that brings about its origination outside of the Torah and the Gospels is nothing more or less than an unhinged cult. So ask yourself this: what is it that you are in? Because Yahweh said He will destroy cults. He will destroy the witchcraft and the sorcery. He will absolutely destroy it beyond identification. So what we have to figure out is, do we need a personal relationship with Him, or do we need to buddy and pat tails with other guys and gals in a cult? That's the question I've got for you. See, because the Word is inspired, infallible, and it is the Word of Yahweh.